Hi everyone, this is Richard. In this video, let's try to make our own component. All right, let's just start from the very beginning because components are the basic building blocks of a Blazor application, right? So we've already talked about nav menu because that's one, but that's already created. These are already created. So let's create our own, all right? So as I mentioned before, you could put it anywhere, but for organization, we'll put it under the pages. We could make our own folder, put it there, and it doesn't make a difference. The only exception is main layout. You have to both import it under the shared folder, and you have to define it under the app.razor. Other than that, the rest of the stuff can be anywhere else. I don't think there's a limit, but we'll just add this right here, component. So if you didn't see that, right click, add, Razor component. This is basically an empty file. It's like a text file that happens to have the Razor file ending name to it. So let's call it test.razor. And basically this is an empty shell, right? So there's the @code. You could put C# code in there. And there are some tags, some elements right here, the H3. I'm going to change that to @page test. So we can access this through the browser itself. And I'm just going to put maybe button, press me. And that's it. I'm not going to have it do anything. All right. It's just going to sit there. And let's try the hot reload. Let's try that. Okay. It did work. It doesn't always work, but it did work. So how will I get it? Go to the test. Uh-oh. Page test. Let's try that again. Maybe I didn't save it or anything? This is not good. Let's try this again. Like I said, hot reload doesn't always work for me. Let's try this one more time. No, okay, I'm just gonna reload it here. I'm gonna restart the application. If I'm doing something specifically wrong and you know what that is, can you leave a comment in the comment section? Because it doesn't seem to work for me very well. So we just restarted the whole thing. For small applications like this, it's not a big deal. If it's a really big application, it's gonna be a big deal. So hot reload is gonna be important. So here we go. Here's the press me button right inside here. It doesn't do anything because I didn't set it to do anything. So that's the simplest component you got. That just does nothing, right? Let's go over here and let's add it to the index. All right, so when we go back on the index, we want to add it right here. All right, so I'm going to add it below the survey. I'm going to say test, and it shows up right like that, okay? And let's go ahead and I'm going to try hot reload this again. There it is. So it shows up right inside of here. So not only do we have a component where we created a Razor component right over here, we actually used it as, like I said, almost a custom element. It's a particular component right inside of here as part of the web page right here. Okay. Now wait, what happens if I put press here? Instead of press me, I put press here. Well, let's see what happens there. Let's start this over again. Okay, you might not be able to see that. Let's pull it up a little bit. You get an error right inside here. Why? Because what is happening is if you look at the test component, you already have press me in between the button. What you're doing is you're not importing the button element. So this is not a button element. You shouldn't be, or component, right? Well, element, I guess. You shouldn't be putting this as an element. This is its own component. So when you have press here, that's actually not defined in this particular, we'll talk about that in the future because we'll be able to define it in the future, but there's nothing defined here that you can actually put that information in between. Okay, so that's why there's an error. So if you want to change that to press here, you have to change it in the element itself. And then we go back to here. and we remove this, and that's the way to do it. Right here. Okay? So I'm not exactly sure what the hot reload does. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So now it says press here instead of press me. All right? So simplest component, let's start building upon that. Thanks.